Hi, my name is Caleb Kimbrough with Kelton ISD. I made my website over Chapter 7 of Napoleon's Buttons, Phenol. And here in this paragraph on my homepage, I have described what this project is, what I will be describing, and all the different things I will be doing. And the things I will be doing is I mapped out all the maps in the chapter, and I made a commercial. I made a recipe that includes phenol, and I have chemical formulas, and we'll get into it. So let's start off with the maps pages. Our first maps page is France. I made 9 different maps, and we'll go through each of them. They each had a different involvement with phenol. France. And here on this page, I have put the France flag. Here's a map I made of France. As I said, I would map it out. And France's involvement was Louis Pasteur was a professor from northeastern France. Pasteur experimented with the souring of wine and milk. And that's France's involvement, and we'll move on to the U.S. In the United States, I have a flag here as well. Here's my map that I drew, and you can see that to the side is a map of the United States. The reason that the United States of America was important was because Leo Baekeland immigrated there. And Leo Baekeland was really important. I'll get to him later and tell you what he did, what he made, and the different things that he impacted history on. And we'll move on to our next map. London. Below is a map of London, and London's involvement is Joseph Lister graduated from there. Lister completed his medical degree at the University College in London. And Joseph Lister is a very important man. You ever heard of Listerine? That's where it came from. And we'll also talk about him later. On to our next map, Scotland. And to the right is a map of Scotland. And Joseph Lister was a surgeon at the Royal Infirmary in Glasgow, which is in Scotland. Lister was also a professor of surgery at the University of Glasgow, which is all in Scotland, and that's Scotland's involvement. We'll move on to the West Indies. Okay, the West Indies were important to this chapter because the vanillin molecule contains phenol in it. And the West Indies climate was perfect for these vanillin seed pods to grow. And that's why the West Indies were so important to phenol. And Central America had the same involvement as the West Indies. Central America was also, its climate was perfect for growing seed pods for vanillin. And vanilla is a spice that we use all around the world. Asia. To the left, here you can see, is a map of Asia. In Asia, there are female aic beetles, and these beetles attach themselves to trees and suck the sap from them. Then they become encased in a covering of their own secretion. After reproducing, the beetles die and their shell is recovered and melted. Their outer shell case is called shellac, and shellac composes of phenol. Portugal. And here's my map of Portugal, and a little fun fact about Portugal. Earlier on, Portugal was the powerhouse of the spice trade. They controlled it. They were the main power. They were in control, basically. But their major role, they were a major producer of phenol. They had plants, and they produced it artificially. And that's what Portugal did. We'll move on to Yorkshire. And here is Yorkshire. I made a map of it. Joseph Lister was born to a Quaker family in 1827 in Yorkshire. And Yorkshire is a historic county in northern England. And those are all the counties of Yorkshire. And now we are finished with the maps, and we'll move on to some other things. Now you may have been wondering this whole time, what is phenol? Well, phenol is a mildly acidic toxic white crystalline solid obtained from coal tar, but it's used in chemical manufacture, and it was used as the first surgical antiseptic. Phenols are widely used in household products and as intermediates for industrial synthesis. For example, phenol itself is used as a disinfectant in mouthwash and household cleaners. Look at my 3D model. Okay. So this is my 3D model of phenol red, which is a different molecule. You can see the formula C19H14O5S. The red styrofoam balls represent carbon, and also the toothpicks, they represent the bonds, and they're made out of carbon. The yellow represent oxygen, yellow styrofoam balls. The black represents sulfur, and the blue, which are these, they represent hydroxide, which is OH. And we'll move on. So as I said at the beginning, we made a commercial about phenol that involves it, and actually I combined with another person in my class, and we combined phenol and malaria together to make this commercial. You got anything to get rid of them there malaria spreading mosquitoes?
Yeah, I got just a thing called Rehab.
Rehab? What's that?
Rehab is an insect-killing pesticide that contains the main ingredient of phenolphthalein.
What the heck is phenolphthalein? Ain't that got some of that phenol in it?
It sure does, buddy. And it's pronounced phenolphthalein.
Well, I know that small amounts of phenol is in berries and was used as the first disinfectant in hospitals. Never drink or inhale phenol. It is toxic to the human body and may cause rashes and burns to the skin. Trust me, I know from experience.
Dadgum, Caleb. I didn't know you was that smart. What experiences have you had with phenol?
Well, let me tell you what. Don't ever drink pH tester. That darn stuff looks like Kool-Aid. But gosh darn, when I drink it, it didn't taste like no Kool-Aid I ever had. I got this funny feeling inside me, and I felt like I was about to pass out. Now it's time to put an end to these malaria-spreading mosquitoes.
Man, look at them burn. Dang, that stuff works good. Yeah, it doesn't just kill mosquitoes. It can kill all types of bugs, from those annoying roaches to those malaria-spreading mosquitoes. Using your Rehad's patent-pending formula, you can blast bugs into ashes. Rehad reacts with bugs' exterior shell and causes them to catch on fire and burn.
You can get a can of Rehad today for the low price of just $19.99. But wait, there's more. You can get 2 cans of this amazing product if you call in the next 10 minutes. Don't miss this amazing offer. Order now today. We are not responsible for any property damage due to fire. And that was our commercial about Rehad. And as I explained, it involved the mosquitoes, which have malaria, and the phenol was in the Rehad products, the pesticides. And now we'll look at my poster, which I created. It's just a bunch of different pictures that involve phenol. And this is phenol right here. This first picture is phenol at its purest form. It's a white crystalline solid, and that's how they obtain it from the coal tar. That's what it looks like. And these are pool balls. The pool ball's involvement is a molecule called Bakelite was created from Leo Baekeland, and it used phenol in its basic formula, and it as a basis, it used phenol, and it was used to create one of the first plastics that were used to make pool balls. This is Joseph Lister. He was credited for discovering phenol and was the first one to use it. This is phenol at its basic form, and that's just phenol. I did my 3D model over phenol red. And this is the swimming pool, which goes with the pH tester. These two go together. The pH tester contains phenol, and you use the pH tester in the swimming pool. And the elephant relates to the same thing as Bakelite. Bakelite saved elephants from them using ivory as pool balls, so they started using Bakelite instead, and it saved elephants. And there's the formula for phenol. First up, we have Joseph Lister. Joseph Lister is the surgeon who introduced the new principles of cleanliness, which transformed surgical practice in the late 1800s. We take it for granted that a surgeon will guard a patient's safety by using aseptic methods. But this was not always the case, and until Lister's introduced sterile surgery, a patient could undergo a procedure successfully only to die from a postoperative infection known as ward fever. And that's Joseph Lister. There's a picture. Leo Baekeland was a Belgian-American chemist. He is best known for the inventions of Velox photographic paper in 1893 and Bakelite in 1907. He has been called the father of the plastics industry for his invention of Bakelite, an inexpensive, non-flammable, versatile, and popular plastic which marked the beginning of the modern plastics industry, as I explained earlier, which saved elephants. Wallace Carothers. Wallace Hume Carothers was an American chemist, inventor, and the leader of organic chemistry at DuPont, credited with the invention of nylon. Carothers was a group leader at the DuPont Experimental Station Laboratory near Wilmington, Delaware, where most polymer research was done. Carothers was an organic chemist who, in addition to first developing nylon, also helped lay groundwork for neoprene. After receiving his PhD, he taught at several universities before he was hired by DuPont to work on fundamental research. That's the end of that page. Those are our historical figures, historical impact. Phenol played a pivotal role in a number of advantages that changed the world. Phenol was the very first man-made polymer, and it created the age of plastics. The very first artificial billiards balls were created out of a molecule called Bakelite. Bakelite is a polymer that is synthesized from phenol. During the early 1900s, concern for elephants was growing. To create a perfect pool ball, the center of the tusk would be cut out, and only 1 out of 50 were density necessary. In 1860, you would not want to go to a hospital. Hospitals were very dirty and grimy. This was until Joseph Lister discovered the use of phenol as a surgical antiseptic. Phenol became used worldwide as a disinfectant and helped greatly with the prevention of hospital disease. Here's my chemical formulas page. We'll start off with phenol. Phenol is a compound that has a very basic chemical formula of C6H6O. This is not the same as my 3D model. My 3D model was a diagram of phenol red as mentioned below. Phenol has a melting point of 40.5 degrees Celsius and a molecular mass of 94.11124 gmol. Phenol red. Phenol red is a compound that has a chemical formula of C19H14O5S. Phenol red has a molecular mass of 354.376 gmols and a melting point of 300 degrees Celsius. Common uses of phenol red include pH testing. When you're testing your swimming pool with chemicals, you are using phenol red. Trichlorophenol. Trichlorophenol has a chemical formula of C6H2Cl3OH. Trichlorophenol has a molecular mass of 197.45 gmols. Trichlorophenol has a boiling point of 246 degrees Celsius. Trichlorophenol is a chlorinated phenol that has been used as a fungicide, herbicide, insecticide, antiseptic, defoliant, and glue preservative. And that was the chemical formulas that we made And the final is a recipe that we made.
We're getting Caleb set up ready.
All you need is the blender,
Kind of yogurt.
French vanilla.
Yeah, it sounds good. I want to bite. I took
So I'm putting 2 cups of blueberries in.
Alright, 2 cups of blueberries.
Do you know that exact?
Yes.
Or, in other words, all of it.
Is that bag 2 cups of blueberries?
Yes.
Exactly that?
Well, I measured it. That says 1 cup. What? It says about 2 cups.
Caleb figures that bag is about 2 cups.
Alright, so 1 cup of vanilla soy milk. Next ingredient. I'll add that in.
This is for a larger batch, maybe. Yeah.
Now we need 12 ounces of ginger.
Remember, there's 3 simple reasons to love soy milk.
About 3/4 of a cup.
8 ounces. So 8 ounces in 1 full cup.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
Caleb, if there's 8
That
ounces
sounds very
in 1
made
full
up.
cup, you need over 1 full cup.
Alright.
You need about a cup.
Well, there's 8 ounces in 1 cup. So
You need
Even
about
more couldn't hurt.
You need about a cup and a half or cup and a half.
Alright, so we're adding 1 cup first of French vanilla yogurt. Add a half cup.
Yeah. That's good some cup for it. Hey, you'll start running this, but do not drink it until we get back. Do you want to put
No,
ice
we
in
won't.
there?
So let's start blending.
Oh, you want to go all the way?
We're ready to serve. Just pull it off. It's pretty good. Tastes pretty good. Blueberries contain the highest amount of phenol in any food. Phenol is toxic, but there's not much incorporated in food. And that was my video over blueberry smoothies, which I created as a recipe. Thank you.